My name is Robin Beer, and I am delighted to be joining you from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So hello from across the pond. I'd like to start by introducing you to the Psaltery, which I'm holding here. This instrument that I have with me is a replica of the original Psaltery that Yeats commissioned from the instrument maker Arnold Dolmetsch for Florence Farr to play. This instrument was commissioned by Ronald Schuchard, the Yeats scholar, and except for a couple of decorative details, it is an exact replica of Florence's instrument. So I'll just tell you a little bit about how it works. You may have heard the term Psaltery before, and it probably conjures up images of Renaissance paintings and mythological characters or angels playing the Psaltery. It is a medieval instrument in a certain sense, but this Psaltery, Yeats' Psaltery, is a modern twist on that. Medieval instruments had fewer strings than this, but this instrument was designed to accompany the human voice. And so it spans one octave, which is the typical range for a human speaking voice, and it is designed to have every semitone within that octave. So it's possible to play a chromatic scale on the Psaltery. And this particular Psaltery was designed to fit Florence Farr's voice. She had a deep speaking voice, and this instrument is tuned to fit that. So the pitches range from G below middle C, which is the lowest note, to G above middle C. And this is what a chromatic scale sounds like on the instrument. So there you are, Psaltery that spans the comfortable speaking range of Florence Farr. And I'll give you a closer look for a moment. There, I think you can see the light shining off the strings. You can see that though there are 12 pitches here, each pitch is represented by two strings. There's a higher and a lower. So you have pairs of strings. And to the best of my knowledge, Florence was not specifically picking out which of those to play. It's simply to give the instrument a richer sound. You see this also on certain guitars and lutes. So we've got 12 strings, or 12 pitches, 24 strings spanning the octave, G below middle C to G above middle C to match her speaking voice. Florence Farr used a few different techniques when she was chanting to the Psaltery. The most basic of these was a very simple plucking of individual notes that corresponded roughly to the natural pitches of the speaking voice as she recited. So this is kind of a hearkening back to ancient Greek oratory when speakers would give themselves chanting notes from a kithara or a flute. And the melody that results is very subtle and not really a melody in the modern sense. It's more of just a heightening of the natural expressive contours of speech. And I want to give you an example first of one of Yeats' poems done in this manner. This is not one of Florence Farr's settings. This is mine, and it resulted from me following the process that Florence herself described of speaking the poem, speaking it expressively, and taking note of the natural contours of my voice, and then transcribing those pitches to play them on the Psaltery. This is Had I the Heavens Embroidered Cloths. Had I the heavens embroidered cloths, and wrought with golden and silver light, the blue and the dim and the dark cloths of night and light and the half-light, I would spread the cloths under your feet. But I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly because you tread on my dreams. Florence performed a wide variety of repertoire with the Psaltery, not only Yeats's poetry, but also other famous poems and even biblical verses. And as she became more comfortable with the instrument, she also became more creative with it. So while much of what she did was in the very subtle vein of what I just showed you with Had I the Heavens Embroidered Cloths, she also went further with creating more involved melodies and also occasionally playing some harmonies on the Psaltery, some droning pitches and some chords. And what I'm going to give you now is The Gates of Dreamland by George Russell. And this is one of Florence Farr's own arrangements. She notated this, and I've recreated it to the best of my ability. This is The Gates of Dreamland. It's a lonely road through bogland to the lake at Carramore, and a sleeper there lies dreaming where the water laps the shore. Though the moth wings of the twilight in their purples are unfurled, yet his sleep is filled with music by the masters of the world. There's a hand is white as silver that is fondling with his hair. There are glimmering feet of sunshine that are dancing by him there, and half-open lips of fairy that were dyed a fairy red in their revels where the hazel tree its holy clusters shed. Come away, the red lips whisper, all the world is weary now. 'Tis the twilight of the ages, and it's time to quit the plough. Oh, the very sunlight's weary ere it lightens up the dew, and its gold is changed and faded before it falls to you. Though your calling's heart be tender, a tenderer heart is near. What's the starlight in her glances when the stars are shining clear? Who would kiss the fading shadow when the flower face glows above? 'Tis the beauty of all beauty that is calling for your love. Oh, the great gates of the mountain have opened once again, and the sound of song and dancing falls upon the ears of men. And the land of youth lies gleaming, flushed with rainbow light and mirth, and the old enchantment lingers in the honey heart of earth. We have some records of poetry recitals given by Florence Farr that list which poems she recited. And there are a few that she performed almost every single time that she chanted in public. And the poem that you just heard, The Gates of Dreamland, was one of those. And what I'm going to give you next is another. This was, I think this may have been her Psaltery showpiece. It's Psalm 137, an excerpt from that, By the Waters of Babylon. So not Yeats, not poetry really at all, but a very famous verse. And this is the most elaborate of her Psaltery settings that I've found. She notated this, and in addition to giving the voice its speaking tones, she also has created a number of harmonies which color the words in interesting ways. This is By the Waters of Babylon. By the waters of Babylon we sat down and wept when we remembered thee, O Zion. As for our harps, we hanged them up upon the willows in the midst thereof. For they that had led us away captive required of us then a song and melody in our heaviness, saying, Sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. If I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. Yea, if I prefer not Jerusalem above my mouth. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, how they cried, down with it to the ground. O daughter of Babylon, wasted with misery, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh thy children and dasheth them against the stones. By the waters of Babylon we sat down and wept when we remembered thee, O Zion. That's all I have for you right now. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you to Isabella for helping me be involved from afar. I wish that I were there to hear all of the other presentations that are going on and to talk with you. And please don't hesitate to get in touch if you have questions or you want to know more. And I would love to hear from you. Thank you. Bye.